With one engine out of action, while waiting to hear back from Adrian, we made the first short hop closer to Stornoway by crossing on one engine to Leverborough on South Harris. At least from here there was a road connection if an engineer had to drive down to work on the boat. Well, we've had an exchange of text with Adrian and it's not sounding promising. He thinks it could be one of three things: head gasket, heat exchanger, or an exhaust manifold blown, all of which will be parts needed. Could mean a few days here. And what he says he wants me to do is taste the fluid coming out of the header tank, and that might give him a clue what it is. So one of the more pleasant things of boating, I'm now going to taste the fluid from the header tank. Ugh. Oh! All I can taste is the coolant in it, so I don't think that piece of detective work's going to take us much further.
Get him for more of you.
Ugh. Ugh. Tastes acidic. Ugh. I don't think it should taste acidic. Horrible! Going against my every instinct, heading out on a 50-mile journey in the Outer Hebrides on one engine. But we talked to the fishermen, they were all saying, go for it, boy. We talked to the lifeboatmen, they said, no problem, do it. The forecast is for a force 4 to 5 southeasterly, but that just hasn't materialised. It's another glass calm day. The scenery is stunning, the ocean is calm, the sun's shining. I'm quite enjoying it. It's hard steering though, it's heavy steering because the power steering comes off the starboard engine, so it really feels that you're fighting it. I think by the time we get to Stornoway it'll be like I've had a real gym workout on the wheel. But it's a lovely day, probably about 5 hours to Stornoway if all goes well. I've rung ahead and spoke to an engineer. He agrees with Adrian's diagnosis. Could be head gasket, could be exhaust, manifold, could be heat exchanger. He's not going to know till he sees it. But he's reserving a pontoon for us. We're hoping to meet him about 4 o'clock there, and then whatever it is, he'll order the parts in for us. So everything's lined up for us, it's just a matter now of getting to Stornoway.
It's looking like a head gasket. I think, have you had the symptoms already? We're seeing bubbles coming out the header tank after it does that.
Well, we did the 60-mile run-up. We're now in Stornoway. It's actually uneventful and very pleasant, just pottering along on one engine. Very helpful local engineer called Tony's had a look at it. He agrees with the prognosis. It's a head gasket that's gone. He can't do the job himself, but he's put us in touch with somebody who can. They're going to come down either tonight or tomorrow, have a look at it and let us know when they can do it. So we're in everybody's hands at the moment. Forecast isn't too good for the next couple of days, so we're probably not missing out on too much, and then after this little blow goes through it's supposed to be nice again. So fingers crossed that we might get the job done within the next 2 or 3 days, but who knows. Well, it's the worst nightmare, isn't it? Furthest port from home, a remote Scottish island, and the engine has to be ripped apart because of the head gasket gone. It's going to take 2 or 3 days for the parts to get here. We've got a dreadful spell of weather coming through, pouring with rain. Then there's the weekend. We've no idea when the engineers will have the engine up and running again. So reluctantly we've decided to break the journey here, head home until we get good news that it's up and running, ready to go, and we can carry on with the trip. Probably also going to be quite an expensive experience.